So next, actually, Peter, why don't you come on up? I know there's some folks have started to put some ideas together already on Trello. Peter's going to pull that up, and we're going to start the pitch session. Now, this is 1 minute problem pitches, okay? So based on what you've heard, maybe based on some of the ideas you had before you came here, I want you to come up and just take 1 minute to describe what the problem is that you want to work on. We're going to give you a number, and then hopefully, and aggregate people around this after, during dinner. So dinner, you'll get a chance to do some brainstorming and decide if you've got a solution. If there was a problem that you like, go find that person, talk to them, talk about what kind of solutions you may offer, and that's how you're going to start forming teams. Is that looking okay?
Gentlemen, change the background.
Okay. While Peter's getting this set up, we want to just kind of give an example of what one of these pitches might be like. So, Karen, are you here? Karen, yeah. So, why don't you come on up? And Karen participated in the event last year, and he's going to just kind of give a quick demo of what a problem pitch might look like, and just sort of break the ice a little bit and get people ready to come up. Maybe if you've got a pitch that you want to present, a problem that you want to present, why don't you come up now and stand up against the wall. I guess this side is a little less crowded. And we'll give you a number, and you can kind of get in line and start getting ready to give your pitches, right? We need to get this process moving. I know some of you have already put stuff on Trello, so you've got ideas. Come on up, okay?
Thank you. So I'm just going to do a demo of the pitch that we had done last year as a participant for chronic pain. So if you think about chronic pain, all of us know at least a person who's suffering from chronic pain. And if we spend a couple of thoughts on it, we realize that their functionality is reduced a lot. And that's not only professionally, but physically, mentally, emotionally, and socially. So if we dive into the details, we see that these people don't really have their control over their lives. They start thinking that pain is the forerunner of their lives, and they just give into medicines, therapies, instead of believing in themselves to take control over their lives. So my solution, my idea would be to help create that solution that helps people to gain more control and give them more power to take control over their conditions, so that they can go ahead and be the first person and not like the last person to be dealing with their problems. Thank you.
So I know some of you guys are still brainstorming, and there was a lot to take in. But I know some of you also came here with an idea of what you wanted to do. So think of this as like a first pass to the team formation process. It's really going to gel after dinner when we do the solution pitching, and that's when we finalize the teams. But if anyone here really wants to jumpstart the process, it really has a problem they want to work on, you can come up here and pitch your problem. If you've already started, I know there's a few teams here. Even if you've already started and found some teammates, you can still come up here and pitch the problem that you selected on Trello. It could be the pre-proposed problem or a new problem. So if you have any ideas right now that you come up with, just come on up. And to say your name too, and where you're from. Thanks.
Someone's got me first. I'll bite the bullet.
Thank you.
All right, my name is Lydia, and I am currently an undergrad at RPI studying biomedical engineering and design. I identify as both an engineer and a designer, so those are kind of my backgrounds. I am really interested in kind of the emotional and spiritual unmet needs in cancer treatment, and so I, on the Trello site, have focused or tried to form a team around helping patients feel like they are outdoors. I have a lot of experience with backpacking and camping, and I really understand like the positive impact of nature on psychological health. So that's something I'm super interested in, and I'd love for anyone with more of the like software and hardware skills, because I have very little knowledge on that. If anyone with those skills is also excited about this project, I would love to form a team. I'm number one also.
There. Anyone else? All right, great, thank you.
Hi everyone, my name is Hadia. I'd like to talk to you about the value of nutrition for cancer patients. So when I think of cancer patients, I automatically remember like the symptoms they go through post-chemotherapy and how it's hard for them to sometimes manage their symptoms post-treatment. And so I'm South Asian, and so for us, nutrition starts with your diet. Diet is so important, like the value of like Ayurvedic medicine, as well as like certain spices like capsaicin and peppers is so helpful. It's been found to be useful in treating tumors and things like that. So obviously, how do we manage patient health at the nutritional level? Because obviously, having them be of sound mind and be well maintained and have proper nutrition is so important to their recovery and their psyche when we're treating them. So I would like to look into how can we devise something where physicians can have better access to a patient's nutritional needs. Are they being met? How do we track that in real time? And how do we use that to improve patient health outcomes in the modern world? So, yeah.
And if your problem's not already up here, you don't have to put it up before you come up here, but afterwards add it and then add your number. So I forget your name, but whoever just spoke, if you could add it to Trello and put number 2, like I did here. All right. I don't know if it's which one it is. Is your card already on Trello?
Yeah, it's the one right below the number.
I don't know.
Was the last speaker's problem already on Trello? The person who just spoke,
Yes.
is it already on Trello?
No. Okay. So you can add it to Trello and then put a number, and then
Or we
you'll,
can help you.
I'll help you after this.
You will be number 2.
Okay. So you're, oh, great. Thanks. Okay. I'll give you number 3 right now. All right. Go ahead. Just say your name and your little, whatever, your name and your background, where you're from.
Hello, my name's Carissa. I'm from Rensselaer Polytechnic Institute. I'm a biology and psychology major, and my idea was innovating a less invasive way to remove tumors, because cancer patients a lot of the time, post-operation of tumor removal will have large scars, especially if they have brain cancer, will have an entire scar down their head, things like that. And so finding a less invasive way, a way to kind of minimize scarring and damage to the body, minimize the amount of chemotherapy a patient has to go through, I think would be very important to the patient as well as their family in terms of getting them back to their life.
Yes, that's number 3. Yeah, are you on Trello?
No, I'm not.
Okay, it's all right. You just pitch. We'll add you afterwards.
Sure.
Yeah.
Hi, my name's Osama Laham. I'm studying bioinformatics at NJIT. And I'd like to develop a way to be able to spot skin cancer much more effectively and much more efficiently than just visiting a dermatologist. As you guys may know, Apple has recently announced the iPhone 10 with a revolutionary front-facing camera capable of detecting minute details.
Let's focus on the problem.
Yeah, the problem. Oh, okay. The problem is.
Solution we're going to be pitching after this.
Sure. Okay.
Like you were heading solution-wise.
Yeah. Sorry about that. I think I already gave it away, but the problem is being able to spot skin cancer much more effectively and much more efficiently than just visiting a dermatologist and having him or her, study your face and study your skin features. That's it. Thank you.
Hey, good evening. I'm Akil. I'm a psychiatrist, and the problem I'm posing is that, what Dr. Smith said earlier is that disparity is a real thing, especially with regards to opioid prescriptions. And cancer pain is very real. It's related to inflammation and acuity, and it needs often opioid treatment. Obviously, it's best if it's multimodal, but opioid treatment is a big part of it. But addiction is very real too, and opioids can, at least the initiation of opioids in a patient that's not with cancer or in a chronic way can lead to opioid addiction. So my problem is maybe we need to come up with some way, maybe novel way, to kind of distinguish the people that require acute opioid treatment versus people that are addicted, and sort of tease out the population so that they can better get treated. Thanks.
It's at the very side, like
Yeah, okay. All right, let's drag it over to here. So you can find it. You'll be number 6. Cool.
All right, good evening, guys. My name is Ashay Patel. I'm a bioengineering student at the University of Illinois, and I'll be at Mount Sinai next year as a med student. So I have no background in what I'm about to propose, but I know one of the presenters talked about financial burdens in cancer care, and definitely during cancer care, but after cancer care, you have to adjust back to life, and you have a lot of you've kind of been financially wiped out sometimes. So I was thinking, is there some financial instrument, some type of modified insurance structure, modulating annuity, whatever, that where people can pool their money, and based on how their prognosis changes, they get a payout at the end upon remission, or something along that lines, where once you are free of cancer, you have a financial backup that lets you readjust back to life. So again, I don't have any experience on this, but I'd love to think about it with some of you smart people.
Hello, my name's Hunter. I don't have a medical background, but the problem that I think can be solved with technology today involving cancer has to do with creating better resources, and that there's a problem with too much information, and that authority of information, and that there can be a solution for those things. So connecting patients and doctors in better ways.
Hi everyone, my name is Alagu. I am a graduate student at Rensselaer Polytechnic Institute in the field of biomedical engineering. And my idea is to focus more on pediatric oncology patients. And I think parents and healthcare providers and many of us would understand that school reentry after treatment is very important for a lot of patients. But it's something that causes a lot of concern for doctors and parents alike, because during treatment, normal socialization, and obviously students are not in school, so they're not keeping up with this classwork as well. And some studies have found that in the immediate year after diagnosis is when a child's normal development is interrupted the most. So I think if we can use technology and harness the multitude of technology that we have to make sure that as much normal, typical development, socialization, education as possible that a child receives as possible during that initial year, I think it would really help children recover afterwards, even after their cancer treatment. My number is 8, in case I didn't mention that earlier.
Hi, my name is Voke. So just to give you a little story, I lost an uncle last year from pancreatic CA. And so that's a major problem, detecting pancreatic CA. It's been an issue in cancer, but that's not really my problem now. The major problem now is in this short period of stay, I noticed that it wasn't really, so major problem with cancer patients is that they don't really, the last period of their life, they don't really get to live it well, in the sense that they are withdrawn, they go into their shell, and then it's obvious that death is staring into your face. So what I just felt would have helped him in his last days was something like, an app that would make him connect with people with pancreatic CA. Now, I know that, yeah, we have Twitters, we have every social media, but these are people that really are elderly, and then from where I come from, maybe they're not really good with the social media app. So if it's like an app that connects you with someone somewhere else without using social media or something, like, so maybe your doctor keys in your details into, like, there's going to be like a broad place where you can key in the details of, oh, this guy is a pancreatic CA guy, and then it kind of connects you immediately to other guys that have pancreatic CA all around the world, such that you don't need a social media to connect with them. Maybe like an app that you can just key in and then you get into that. That's one. And then two, I also noticed that doctors really don't have time for cancer patients. So, and really it's not their fault, it's the workload. So I was just wondering if there's an app that the doctors can communicate with their patients, like not really talking to them one-on-one, but like you can have things already lined out. So if you're like a pancreatic CA guy, a surgeon, you can have things that you'd have rolled out, like set down, and then the apps, once you have a new patient and he has this app, it gets the whole details of everything. I don't know how to say it. Yeah, thanks.
Hi, I'm Rochelle. So this is really embarrassing because number 9 is a really good idea because it's very similar to mine. I'm a student here at Sinai, and again, one of the biggest problems that I think that's involved in cancer, not so much in the biology of cancer, but more in the aspect of once a patient gets diagnosed with cancer, their world shrinks into the size of their hospital room. And that's not the case. They have family that loves them, they have friends that love them, and more importantly, they have people in the hospital that are in their same shoes. And so identifying ways to connect these people to believe that they're not isolated, that they're not one person, can make a whole difference in the way that their treatment goes and the way that their outcome is assessed, as well as in the way that they perceive life, especially after they get released from the hospital. I had a friend in high school, got diagnosed with leukemia. He was out of school for a year, and then when he tried to come back and integrate, it wasn't as easy as he thought it would be. And so having a support system built in to the hospital that keeps patients engaged, keeps them social, would be amazing. And this can be done through apps. This can be done through programs that we can implement in hospitals that already kind of exist, especially for the elderly. And if we can apply them to the general cancer population, I think that would be really cool. So.
Hi, my name is Keiko. I'm number 11. I'm up on the Trello board. I am a primary care doctor and geriatrics doctor, and I am interested in preventative care. And I wanted to figure out a way. I wanted to figure out an interactive app or game that will address modifiable risk factors such as smoking, alcohol, body weight, diet, exercise, stress, sun exposure, so that people can lead more healthy lives and hopefully get less cancer. Thank you.
Hello everyone, my name is Rebecca. I am an undergrad senior and I'll be entering Mount Sinai next year as a medical student. So I'm representing my team. Our problem is finding a way to cheaply and effectively assay either saliva or a blood test in order to look at biological markers and genetics to classify cancer and tumor growth. And we're trying to find a way to synchronize everything. What we do need is a clinical perspective. So if you're interested in the idea and want to contribute to our team, please come to us. We are on the teams and number 12. Thank you.
So the problem there is biomarker identification, right? Yeah. Because so your team has one possible solution for that.
Hi, my name is Anay. I'm Lucky 13. I'm a grad student at Sinai. When cancer patients they are going through the trouble that they usually go, they're not able to express it. Even if they express, the family and friends are not able to understand the exact pain, the suffering, the loss of time, work exactly. Obviously, the family is trying to do their best, but they do not understand sometimes. So, what can be done is cancer survivors can come into picture for a particular cancer, and something where people from all around the globe can connect on a particular cancer, people out here from India, from Caribbean, from Europe, anywhere, so that they can have a particular, like a platform to talk about. So that is what I was pitching for. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Adam, and I do not have a medical background, but I work in a pretty niche field called applied learning science that integrates behavior analysis, so the study of human behavior, with how we structure environments, implementation science, how we get big ideas, uses of technology into the mainstream, how do we get them to sustain and create contingencies that allow them to produce what their intent were. So a lot of the discussion that I hear from both presenters and people pitching ideas is how do you get people to implement innovations and keep them going. And so one of the problems seems to be an integrative system that allows you to adapt and scale different types of interventions, especially conversations around diagnoses, around treatment to different populations based on their educational background and other features. And so I really am looking at some issues around having too many things sporadically placed throughout the literature and as well as in the marketplace, and how you can integrate those into something that's more comprehensive and that you can easily scale so that practitioners who are in practice don't have to spend hours and hours and hours in continuing education to really look at what is best practice for a particular population. So looking for anybody with clinical experience as well as computer science. So thank you.
My name is Ola. I'm a grad student in Mount Sinai. My idea is that actually we are in the information age, and the information is cumbersome for most people to understand. So what I'm trying to think about is that if it's possible to get an app that will be able to give patient in the layman language the current prognosis about a particular cancer, or they'll be able to tell them the clinical trials in that particular cancer, the outcome and the most likely maybe the side effect or the thing. Actually, I have a background in medicine, so I'm looking for someone that will be able to develop an app and also someone that will be able to do all the thing. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Katie. I am a graduate student at RPI in biomedical engineering. And as I was sitting here, I started thinking, my mom, when I was in undergrad, was diagnosed with cancer. And as she was going through radiation treatments, one thing that she always said, she was exhausted. She's a single parent, so when I was away at college, no one was there. So she had to depend on some friends who, when they had time to come help her out, even simple tasks like making a meal at night, going to work. And she had to go to so many doctors. She was just exhausted. Right now, I don't exactly have a clear idea of where I could go with this, but if there's some kind of app that we put together, I don't know, like easy meals to make or some way to connect, like a lot of people are talking about connecting, but connecting people that can help others, because there's some people who are going through this alone, and it's hard and something just even boosts their energy. But that's just a problem that I was thinking of. So, oh, and I'm number 16.
Hi, my name is Avi. I'm a professor here at Mount Sinai. I may not be able to actually form a team, but I have two ideas for you that I would like to pitch, or two problems to pitch. And the first one is like, can we actually detect cancer by creating a device that would measure the breath of a person? Because we know that dogs can actually detect through smell cancer. And the other one is that there are a lot of carcinogens in our water, and especially in urban environment. Can we detect by sampling the water in the city, in different places, can we detect carcinogens? And can we detect potentially carcinogens in people's urine? So this is another sort of like just pitching some ideas. So the 17 is the idea about looking at the people's breath, and the 18 is looking at either water or urine and trying to find carcinogens in those.
Hi, I'm Amanda. I'm a fourth year PhD student and I'm studying liver cancer. And so liver cancer is the second leading cause of cancer-related mortality worldwide, and there's a big increase in incidence in the U.S. So this is an important thing that we need to find different curative treatments for, because right now the only way that we can cure the liver cancer is to surgically remove it. But unfortunately, we typically detect those tumors too late to treat them with surgery. So my first question is, how can we detect cancer earlier, liver cancer earlier? And I have a few ideas about that that we can talk about over dinner. And so come find me. The other thing is, this is a rather unique group of patients because liver cancer almost always arises in the background of liver disease. So these patients typically have hepatitis or HIV or have alcoholism. So this is a group of patients that we can identify earlier on. And so the second part of the earlier detection would be how can we get them more involved, this at-risk patients, how can we get them more involved in their care? And how can we get them to comply more with screening? So we screen them every 6 months, but sometimes it's hard to get these patients to come back into the doctor. So those are two things that we can do to improve earlier detection. So thanks. 19.
Hi, my name is Marilyn. I am a oncology nurse and researcher here at Mount Sinai. In looking at the problem of genomics health literacy, we're trying to find a solution for that. So in 2001, the genome was sequenced, and with that, the advancements in treatments for patients with cancer has been tremendously advanced. The Precision Medicine Initiative was announced in 2015, and Moonshot Initiative in 2016, which is really accelerating cancer treatments and really targeted therapies like immunotherapies. But there's a big gap in understanding what that means, particularly for disparate populations. So we really want to focus on genomic health literacy, and we are team number 20.
Hi everyone, I'm Akshay and I'm team number 21. I have a clinical background, and the problem that I pose here is that we know that cancer care is a long process, and we as doctors, we cannot do much about cancer care once the patient is out of the clinic or the hospital. But if we see from the patient's point of view, he may feel very good just when he's just met the doctor, but after a few days he may feel that I just need to go and talk to him once again. But that's not possible, because the next appointment may be 2 or 3 weeks, or maybe sometimes 8 weeks apart. So this feeling of being cared for weans off. So what I want to do is that I want to bridge this gap between patient and doctors, so that and enable the doctors to be able to follow up their patient even more effectively and efficiently between the period of follow up. Thank you.
Hi everyone, my name's Adam. I'm a grad student here at Sinai. My background is actually in oncology clinical research, so in my experience, clinical trials kind of in the development phase often stall out, and they're oftentimes for money reasons or for disagreements within the statistics or clinical rationale, things like that, and especially in low budget, kind of not as highly supported clinical trials like investigator initiated, this can kind of stall things out for a very long time, and then the treatments are ultimately delayed and the patients don't benefit as much. So my idea would be something that would streamline the protocol development, budget negotiations, contract process, so that development doesn't take as long and that patients can be treated quicker without the unnecessary kind of baggage that come with clinical trials that are developed poorly. Thanks.
Hi everyone, my name is Cleon Stanley. I'm number 2023. And the issue I would like to solve is, for a lot of us, we're, have international origins. So what happens if one of our family members gets, sick overseas with cancer? And especially if you're at an institute like this, you see the resources that we have, but it's not, how do you bring them from overseas to come here? They don't have health insurance, so on and so forth. So my issue is more so coming up with ways to solve that resource gap, whether it's, maybe using telemedicine to help treat, your family member who's overseas, or maybe it's a special type of insurance that you can use to allow them to come to the States to get treatment for care, or what have you, or it might be vice versa. So there might be, some physicians in Cuba working on some specialized therapy that's not really in the most of the Western world, but through some mechanism you can be able to gain access to that resource. So once again, number 23, just gaining access, kind of like leveling the playing field when it comes to access to oncology care. Thanks.
Hi, my name is Ariella. I'm a master's student here. So this problem, I think, is something that can be addressed by some of the solutions that have already been suggested, but I wanted to include it as like its own problem. So I think that cancer patients need like a concrete support system, obviously, but within their own home, because they can't always get into their office. They can't always reach out to psychological services. So in any of your solutions, you might want to consider how we can provide a network of like counselors or psychologists, psychiatrists, therapists to support those patients so that they can learn coping mechanisms, and I guess just like comprehensively how to deal with their illness. So.
Hi, I'm Karthik. I'm a foreign medical graduate. I'm number 25. So my idea is about patient knowledge. Most of the patients don't know what kind of screening that they should undergo for their age and gender. So anything which tells them, which is, what are all the screening that they should undergo, and what are the different screening options available for them. And also, if they want to learn more about any cancer or anything, anything which gives them the links to read, that's an idea that is worthwhile. Thank you. 25.
All right, awesome. Thank you very much, everybody who came up. So remember, this is 25 different problems that have been posed here, ranging from biomarker detection to environmental issues that relate to cancer to patient support systems, distance therapy transfer. I mean, there's a whole range of exciting problems. Some of these may not end up with solutions. Some of them may end up with more than one solution. Okay, it's not like one problem becomes one team. Now's your chance. Hopefully this was a time to get inspired. Everybody who pitched a problem, this should be on the Trello board. If you don't know how to do that or need help doing that, let Peter know. We'll help you through that process.